Photographers, do you find it difficult to articulate the value of your photo shoot packages? Or do you find that clients often question your prices? Or worse, when you give them a price, they go ghost? If any of these situations apply to you, today I'm going to show you a framework that I've used to move clients away from focusing on the price to getting them focused on results. And I've used this framework when doing projects with clients like H&M, NYU, Pronghorn Co., the Brooklyn Bar President's Office, Peace Players International, and many, many more photography clients. And this framework can apply for you too if you apply it, because work doesn't work unless you work it. My name is Jordi-Lakeem Foster, and I'm the owner of JFP Studios, a branding photography agency, photography business coach, and a photographer just like you who used to struggle to articulate his value. I had to ditch the aperture, off-camera flash, and take a 6-year-long journey into the world of business. And guess what, guys? According to Fash.com, the average photographer only charges between $100 to $250 per hour. For average day rates for parties, for weddings, you're looking at $300 to $500 for birthday parties, $1,000 to $3,000. And I'm talking about on average. I'm not talking about the upper echelon of photography. So it is very possible to make a full-time income from being a photographer, but you have to play at a very high level. Now, so after selling photography packages valued at over $1,000, $2,000, $4,000, I've come to understand that premium price services have very, very little to do with the price itself. And premium pricing has more to do with the experience that you provide for the client as it relates to helping them with their problems, not your pictures, edits, hours, and number of photos that they're going to be receiving, their problems. What I'm going to show you today will work for you regardless of your photography niche, whether you do commercial, fashion, lifestyle, event photography, products, headshots, food, family, architecture, landscapes, or weddings. This works regardless of the niche because these are business principles that I have discovered. And this is going to help you if you're still undecided on your niche. My goal is that this process will help you to think through this process a little bit more clearly than you have been. So let's get right into it, guys. What is premium value services as it relates to photography? Well, let's define some term first. First, we're going to define what the word premium means, and then we're also going to define what the word value means. So according to dictionary.com, well, this is from the Merriam-Webster dictionary, actually. Premium means a high value or a value in excess of that normally or usually expected. So let me move this over here. In Jordy's definition, premium means providing a higher than expected experience than what is normally expected from a photo shoot. With me so far? Now, what does value mean? According to dictionary.com, value in the context of selling services is the worth of something compared to the price paid for it. Jordi-Lakeem Foster says, value is the difference in your customer's life that you make by solving their problem relative to the price they paid. I'm going to say that one more time. Value is the difference in your customer's life that you make by solving their problem relative to the price they paid. So what is a premium value service? A premium value service is positioning your services in a way that helps your client to uncover the value of your service, solve their problems, and create results for them in a way that they appreciate. And when you do this, this makes the price that you charge irrelevant. It's almost as if they're saying, I don't care about the price anymore. Just give me what I want. Now, here's what a premium pricing strategy isn't, guys. It's not a magic formula to help you win every client that comes your way. It won't work for you if you don't have a solid business structure in place. And most importantly, It won't work if you don't know how to articulate the value of what you sell. But that's why we're here in this training today. Here's what the strategy will help you to do. It will help you to uncover the problems that your prospect has. It will help you to dig deep into why, and I put that in bold, why they need those problems solved. And then after you've gotten a clear understanding of what the client's problems are, you'll then have a mountain of value to share your solution on top of. And as a result of uncovering your value, you get to charge more as a byproduct. A lot of the times I speak to many photographers, they want to rush into figuring out how they should structure their packages, which is fine. But without having a full understanding of the hierarchy of needs, and this is not Maslow, but hear me out. Customers, when they buy something, they have something that they need to get done. When your client is looking to capture maternity pictures, they're not looking for just photography. They're looking to celebrate a milestone. If you have a client that is about to launch a nationwide advertising campaign, they're not just looking for pretty pictures. They're looking for images that are going to build an emotional connection with the people that they serve so that they can drive more traffic to the website, generate more leads, and ultimately turn over more customers. So what we have to do by uncovering our value, uncovering the value, meaning what it is that the client wants, that is how we get to charge more, guys. So, principle number one, a client is always going to hit you up, and without them being fully informed, or even if they have been through the process before, they're going to ask you, hey, what's the price? Principle number one, guys, get them out of the DMs, get them off of your email, move them away from in person and into a consultation. I can't tell you how many times I've had in-person conversations with people and they're like, well, how much does this charge? And I'm like, well, like it really depends on what you want to do, because you could have a nationwide campaign that you want to do. Maybe you want to get some headshots for your staff. Maybe you want to get some pictures of your puppy. I don't know, right? Different things are going to have different costs to it or different levels of investment. So I've had many experiences in the past, and I remember one particular event. I was photographing a pop-up shop for a business fair. And I remember going around taking pictures of all the vendors. People were seeing me in action. This one lady approached me saying that she wanted to do a birthday photo shoot. Little did I know that I was breaking this rule. And it's like I knew it, but I just figured to myself, man, like she just wants to, like she sees the work, she sees how good the pictures look at her friends. She just needs a price so she can make a decision. And we probably could have booked it right then and there on the spot. She then goes to say what every client says. Hey, I just need a few pictures. It's just one outfit. I want to do some pictures in the park, and that's really about it. Every client undersells what it is that they're going to do, because I think subconsciously they understand that there's going to be a price that's associated with creating high quality photographs. So in any of these situations, DM, emails, in person, text message, or referral, you get that person onto a consultation. I've learned over the years to never break that rule. If you guys want to break the rule, you're going to pay the cost of not making any money. So here's what amateur photographers do. Amateur photographers give clients a price sheet. They just send over the prices, and then the client goes ghost. If we want to stop being amateur photographers, we have to now transform into expert photographers. And what do experts do? Experts ask if they'd be open to a free phone or Zoom consultation. Then what you want to do is you want to ask for 2 times that they're available, and then you want to send an email and SMS confirmation of the date. That's your first milestone. Here's why. Getting clients from direct messages, emails, or in person and into a consultation is absolutely crucial, because it sets the stage for you to control how the conversation flows. Whether or not we believe it, guys, we're in constant competition with other vendors, other photographers, other service providers to sell. So if one person doesn't get the money, somebody else is taking it from you by taking it from your client. So you want to have a environment that facilitates selling that facilitates how you can walk somebody through your process. If you do otherwise, you're not going to build the level of rapport that you typically need when you're selling things of like 1,000, 2,000, 5,000 plus. That is because once you get past the $100 range, things like that aren't really an impulse buy because people are thinking about their budgets. If they have a wife and kids, they're budgeting for that. If they have a high cost of living, they're not just going to impulse buy $500 or $1,000 worth of something, okay? Next, a consultation creates a controlled environment where you can build rapport, right? If you give somebody the price in person or in the DM or on the phone, they don't really know you, you don't really know them, and it's like, why should somebody give you $500 to $5,000 without them even really knowing who you are and that you could do the work for them, right? Next, you can acknowledge why they're there, right? People aren't going on consultation calls all day just for the sake of it, right? They're going on consultation calls because they have a problem that they need solved, right? You can listen to and identify their problems. You can explain how your services solve those problems that they share. Then this is the magic formula. You can tailor your pitch to their specific needs. So whenever I'm in a selling situation, right? So a consultation call is a sales opportunity. I'm not just selling, hey, so we're going to do a 2-hour session. You're going to get 10 edits and you're going to get it back in 3 days. No, it's like, hey, sorry about that, guys. If my client says that one of the things that they're really struggling with is to have people respect their products and services, I am going to emphasize that the images that I create for them is going to give a more professional appeal to their products or services or the coaching programs or anything like that. Does that make sense? Right? I'm not even going to really focus on the number of edits because I'm going to give a recommendation for the number of edits. And the number of edits really isn't a big determinant factor in how I structure my costs, right? Next, you can address any concerns that they have. Clients, believe it or not, guys, they will not buy until every single concern that they have in their minds are addressed. And no client is ever going to tell you that, Jordi, based on the price that you presented to me, I really don't think that it's going to be working for my budget because you haven't clearly articulated to me how I, as a person who's not a model, will be able to pose. Directions, you didn't tell me that there's going to be a schedule. I don't really know what to expect. And all they're going to say is, I need some time to think about it. And that is because you didn't solve every single problem, perceive the problem that they had. And then, guys, to repeat it again, no one books calls all day for fun. They're looking for somebody that they can trust, somebody that is an expert. And the way you become an expert is by listening to and identifying their problems. So let's go on to the next slide. Without a consultation, guys, you assume that you know what they want. And that is one of the most difficult ways to actually sell. You assume that they know how to put together what they want. Believe it or not, clients have an idea of what they want, but they didn't take all the years of study and practice that you did to learn how to put together a production, how to create a schedule, how to create a mood board, and how to do the things to push the needle forward. And then you leave it up to chance to get a client. When you throw your price at them, you leave it like 50-50. And 50-50 is not really an effective way to run a business. And then ultimately you hurt your business in the long run because for every inquiry that you get, you burn a relationship and you don't really get to provide the level of service that they need to move forward. So stop hurting your business in the long run, guys, and focus on the long-term game, which is getting your clients results. Now, we come to this question, why do people buy premium services, right? Like when there's so many options in the marketplace, why do people buy things that are more expensive? Like anybody could buy a Honda, anybody could buy a Honda, but people buy Benzes, people buy Maybachs, people buy things that help them to fill three major factors that I'm going to cover with you right now. So here comes principle number 2. You want to tap into the 3 hidden motivations that push people to buy premium. 1 is past voids, 2, present values, and 3, future desires. And I'll cover each of them right now. Here are some examples of past voids. So, your client has experienced a lack of something, bad experience, or a gap in the past that causes them to have a strong desire to fix or change something. So here's some relevant photography examples. Photographer that they work with didn't communicate a schedule. They didn't deliver the images when they said they would, or they sent images that didn't really match the client's vision. These things will cause an emotional need for your client to have better looking images. Present values. They have current standards that they adhere to. So, for example, it may be religious values or personal style or personal connection or them wanting to magnify their appearance, right? Right? Like these are things that they may value in the present time. For example, I had a client who ran a church. And a big part of their photo shoot that we did was they didn't want to come off as too traditional, but they also didn't want to come off as too modern. And when I asked them to define what those terms meant, what they meant was that they didn't want to look like a Bible pushing pastor or a mega church leader. They wanted to be relatable. They wanted to show off their sense of style. And they also wanted to create images that when they were visiting other churches as guest pastors, people could get a quick understanding that they mean business. So that's one example of a present value. Future desires. One of my clients recently had headshots that they did in the past, but they didn't really like them because anytime they went to any political convention, any expo event that they held, people often thought that they were young looking. So a big part of our photo shoot was to change people's perception of their image. They wanted to appear more dominant, more confident, more certain about the direction that they were taking the city. And that was the focus of their photo shoot. And as a result of that, that would have increased their status. I had another client who closed over $1 billion in real estate sales. And she had an award show and she wanted media to celebrate the moment, highlight her mom, and really capture this moment in style. So people that look to the future often have calculated the cost of their past and present, and they want to fill that. So, to effectively create desire in your clients, your product or service must address those key points. So, examples of each of these key motivations using some questions. Past voids. One of the questions I always ask, and it has gotten me great results I love to share with you guys, is these questions are going to help you to tap into the unfulfilled needs or from the past that influenced your client's current buying decisions. So here's an example. Tell me about your experience working with a professional photographer. You want this tone to be confident, but also curious. Tell me about your experience working with a professional photographer. Not, so tell me about your experience working with a professional photographer. You want to have a curious tone. And then, based on what they say, they may jump right into telling you what the experience was like. So you always want to ask a follow-up. Don't ask the first question and then just leave them hanging. You want to follow up with that. This is one of the key questions I use in every single consultation to get an idea of where my client is with their experience. All right, present values. So right now we're focusing on what their core beliefs and priorities are because for these clients that really lean into this second principle here, the second secret, they really focus on how they are right now and how they want people to see them. One of the questions I ask that helps me to get to the bottom of this is, so what makes this photo shoot so important for you to do right now? And these dots or are verbal pauses that I use to not make it sound like a script, but I make it sound like a genuine question because, even in your sales process, you do want to have some consistency. So I'll say, and then based on what they say, so what are you hoping that your branding photo shoot is going to do for your upcoming launch? Or what are you hoping that this new campaign is going to do for the new website update that you want to do? Stuff like that. And then future desires. This is a big one, right? So these are people who are goal driven and they are aspirational. So some questions that I've asked that have turned out extremely well for me are, when you receive these images, how do you want them to make you feel when your family or your friends or your loved one looks at them, right? Or like, when your future clients look at these images, what do you want them to communicate about what you stand for, right? Like we're all doing images for a specific reason. We're not just doing them just because, right? Like we're doing them because clients have results that they want and they're looking for an expert to help them get there. Now, here is the step-by-step implementation that I'm going to recommend for you guys to follow. This is stuff that I'm doing. I'm going to show you screenshots from what I'm doing, and they help to make your consultation process much, much, much smoother. So there are 5 major stages in your sales process. Your inquiry, and we've covered that a little bit. We've covered, we haven't really touched too much on the pre-questionnaire, but I will break that down for you. We've touched on the some questions that you can use in the discovery or consultation process. Those are the questions I just shared with you about the 3 secrets to tap into the hidden desires of your clients. Closing the sale, collecting the payment, and then moving your client on to the next step. And then like the post consultation, what do you do after the consultation? So setting up follow-up meetings, guiding your client all the way to the photo shoot and back. So the inquiry stage. Let's tackle the inquiry stage right now. The inquiry stage. So here's how I would recommend you guys, and this is how I do it. When somebody asks for my price before conducting a consultation, so here are the steps, right? The client makes an inquiry, and then you respond to the direct message with a friendly tone, directing your client to book a consultation. For example, hey, I'd love to help you do your branding photo shoot, but hey, look, man, to understand your needs and provide you the best service, would you be open to doing a free 20-minute consultation? You wait for their response, and then if they say yes, you say, okay, great, here's the link to book the call. And I'm also going to let them know what they're going to receive. You're going to receive email confirmation once you select the time that works for you. If you don't see a time, shoot me a message, right? So you're letting them know that you're a real person, that you're anticipating what some of their obstacles may be, and this is demonstrating your expertise. So once they book the call, you're going to get to the when they click on the link, they're going to enter the pre-consultation stage. So this kind of happens without you. So you want to have a online booking system. Some platforms that I recommend that I've seen people use all the time are like Calendly, Acuity Scheduling. My personal favorite is High Level because High Level allows you to have your CRM, email marketing, landing pages, SMS all in one place. And I'm not really a guy that likes to go all over the place to use all my different tools. So you also want to integrate your booking link on your website and social media platforms. And then you want to ensure your calendar is updated with the available consultation times that you have. So if you look at this image here, you can see that, right, this is my Instagram profile. I'm a real person. Right, my bio here, I teach photographers how to create and sell premium value photo shoot packages. I just clicked on the link for you guys so you could see it. So you could apply for my coaching program, visit my website, book a free photo shoot consultation, or book a free branding consultation. So let's move on to the next step. So now when they get to actually selecting their time, here's some things that you want to have on your form. If you're selling B2B, ask for their monthly revenue, type of project that they're doing, the date when they want to do their project, and give a price range and ask if they're okay with it. And then you want to ask what outcome they want to get when they are on the call with you. Here is my example of what my page looks like. So when someone is booking a photo shoot consultation with me, as you can see, it's 30 minutes over here. I ask them what type of project they want to do, so that way I can get a sense of it before they get on the call. And then I have a button here for them to select the best time. How like if somebody here is like a 3 out of 10 in how familiar they are with your services, it's gonna give you a good indication that you may need to send them more information about you before they get on the call. If they're like a 9 out of 10, you can imagine it's gonna be a dramatically different call than somebody who's not as experienced with you, right? I also share here up front, write yes or no if our content creation services start at $800 to $2,500. If they're not okay with this, they're not qualified. It's very simple. And then last but not least, what outcome do you want out of the call with me? This one is very important because whatever outcome it is that they want, that's the outcome that you have to lean into and sell. So you're not going to sell pictures, edits, studio time, and hours. You're going to sell what it is that the client wants. Now, here's how you conduct your consultation. Start by acknowledging the project that they want to do. So if I go back here, if my client here says to me, hey, I want to do a branding photo shoot, I'm going to say, hey, Carla, I saw that you want to do a branding photo shoot. Can you tell me some more about that? Then when they start telling you about that, you're going to ask them as many questions as you can as it relates to helping them get closer to booking the service. And here's some follow-up questions, same questions that I had from before, right? So when they tell you a little bit about their project, you can now follow up with, well, so Carla, tell me about your experience working with a professional photographer. Okay, they're going to tell you. Then you can say, hey, Carla, so what's the ideal type of experience you want for the shoot to be for your branding photo shoot? Okay. And then where relevant, I'm going to share clients who I've helped get the same results that they're looking for. And then before you move on to talking about anything, you want to invite them to ask any questions or objections, share any concerns that they might have in real time. And then comes the transition point in your call. After you've asked enough questions and then you say, hey, do you have any more questions for me? And they say, no, I have no more questions. Request permission to show them how your service will help them solve their problem. Now, you could just jump right into it, but a big part of the sales process is you want to have all these little checkpoints. So from the point to the inquiry, them accepting the invite, to the pre-questionnaire, to the questions that you asked, we've done every single thing to lead up to this point to create a great experience. So now what you want to do is you want to educate the client on your process and highlight how it will help them based on the issues that they have. So my number one tip here, guys, is close the sale on the call or get some type of commitment. You don't want to run and chase after clients. And this is the $1 million photographer rule number one. Always aim to collect the deposit on the call. Some clients are fickle, they're shopping around. And if they are really serious, they're going to put that deposit down so you could move on to the next step. So you want to use this sentence. Now that we've gone over everything for your photo shoot, and this is at the end after you've done all your steps. Now that we've gone over everything for your photo shoot, Carla, the investment will be $1,000. Our clients typically pay with Visa, MasterCard, Discover, or American Express. And the best part is you're not required to pay in full today. We simply require a 50% deposit to make your reservation. What card will you be using today? Just like that. Don't say, would you like to pay today? Don't say, would you like to make your deposit today, right? So we've skipped them even asking how much is the deposit because we let them know how much is the down payment. And then you say, what card will you be using today? And there's two things that happens in this. Your clients either start reaching for their call and then they stop and think about it, or they tell you that they may need some time. Now, here's what you do after the call, assuming that everything went well. You're going to send a consultation summary. And so this is going to be a thank you email. And the thank you email is going to summarize the key points. And you're going to reiterate your value proposition, which your value proposition in this case is your solution for the problems that your client has. Then you want to include a call to action for the next steps, because your clients just are not going to be thinking about everything that they have to do next. So you're going to set a date. I include this in my process where we do a concept development meeting. A concept development meeting is a meeting where you meet with your client and you speak to them about the ideas that they have. You make a Pinterest board, you make a PowerPoint, a keynote, you just put it together in a collage, anything that's gonna help them to visualize. Then payment appointment or payment summary, like let them know that they made a payment, you received the payment. Some of this stuff should be set up in your back end system anyways, so it can function automatically. And then last but not least, your follow-ups. So here's some mistakes that you want to avoid. One, don't let your client off the call with excuses like, I need to think about it, or I have to speak with my spouse, or I don't have the money right now. If they say, I need to think about it, here's one thing you could say. Well, what do you need to think about? Is it the price? And if you hear my tone, you could tell that I'm like curious. Like, I'm not judgmental. I'm not shaming them for not being able to or wanting to pay the price right now. I'm just genuinely curious, because if they say I need to think about it, that's them trying to escape the call. And nobody escapes your sales calls, okay? So, like, what do you need to think about, Carla? Is it the price? Carla's going to say yes or no. No, it's not the price. I just need time to think about it. Well, let's say, okay, cool. Like, you plan to call back? I understand you may need some time to think about what we discussed, but before I let you go, may I ask you a question? Is the main issue price? Okay, they say no, no problem. If the main issue is price, ask what would be fair for them. And then you could say, hey, look, like, I'm willing to work with you, but if I'm going to do the service, I can't give you everything that I promised up front. But based on the price that you wanted, here's what I could do for it. And then you could say, hey, okay, great. And then you just get back into closing the deal. And if they still need time, tell them you understand and you don't want to put any pressure. So you and your team will call them back at a suggested date and time. If they say they have to speak with their spouse, you can prevent this by putting the questionnaire up front and ask questions like, so based on everything that you told me what you think about, do you think that your husband or wife wouldn't want you to get the benefits of having a high quality photo shoot to attract more people to your company? And if they say, guys, hey, look, man, I just don't have the money right now, ask if money weren't an issue, would they be able to move forward right now? And then if they say yes, you can say, hey, look, I have a payment plan system, and this payment plan can help you make payments up to 3, 6, or 12 months. Would that work for you? And they say yes. Okay, great. You pull up the payment plan for them right then and there. You fix that problem. If they say that, hey, I'm just not really sure, I need to think about it, you say, hey, look, I understand. What are 2 times and dates that you're available so that we can schedule a follow-up call? And then you schedule that follow-up call from within the call. And if they just can't pay right away, guys, right? Like, I'm just trying to walk you through different scenarios. Just think about it. You may need to scroll back, right? Set a payment date, right? Do not leave it up to, hey, man, I'll just call you back in 3 days, because in 3 days, you're going to get busy, they're going to get busy, and they're going to forget about you. So you want to set that payment date from within the call. You should never leave a call and not know when the next meeting is going to be, and so should your client. Then you want to give them a specific time to call back, and then tell them you will be calling them. Tell them that, hey, look, I understand you're a very busy professional. I don't want you to be waiting around all day trying to call me. I will call you or somebody from my team. And then last but not least, guys, is the follow-up, right? So after you've done every single thing like that, client says, hey, I just still need some time to put everything together. Follow up with them for the next 14 days to 30 days. I recommend that range because smaller photo shoot projects typically have a delay time, meaning like a time to execute for like 30 to 45 minutes. So you can use this 14 to 30 days. If they don't buy after that, they probably weren't going to buy in the first place. So this is going to help if they were just unsure and really needed time to think. You want to send case studies, testimonials, and relevant updates to them for the duration of that 30-day sequence, depending on the time span of your photo shoot. And if they ghost you after that, like I said, guys, they didn't want the service in the first place. And now to summarize everything, guys, there are 5 major stages of your sales process. So if you ever find clients questioning your price, ghosting you, or just being completely unsure of whether or not you have the skills, if you follow this process, even if you have a minimal amount of portfolio, you go through your inquiry, you set up your pre-questionnaire, you get them on a consultation or a discovery call, you close the sale on the call or make your best attempt to, and you set a follow-up, and then you follow the post-consultation steps. These steps will help you to charge a premium and remove the obstacle of clients questioning you about your price. Hope this video helped you guys. If there's any points that you need to rewatch, I highly recommend just going back, getting back into it. But that is the video for today. This is how you set up premium pricing in photography. And I hope that this video helped you. And if it does, share it with a friend and subscribe to the channel for more videos like this. Peace.